Good evening and welcome to the evening news for today, Friday, November 17, 2023. I am Jemima Holmes. Thank you for tuning in. Now let's take a look at some of the lead stories tonight. Diplomacy is our first line of defense, but soldiers must be vigilant, says Prime Minister. GDF to establish Veterans Department to deal with daily affairs, says Army Chief. Female cop dies after speeding. Drunken driver jumps stoplight and crashes into roadblock. 63-year-old man killed by reversing truck at Madewini. And GuyExpo 2023 showcases Guyana's economic transformation. Glimpse of future, says Prime Minister. Now for the news in detail. Prime Minister Brigadier Retired Mark Phillips, a former Army chief himself, has called on all soldiers stationed at the borders to be vigilant, especially in the face of heightened tension coming from neighboring Venezuela. In our lead story tonight, Vanu Manichan reports the Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, has also committed his ranks to safeguarding the country.
Speaking with reporters on the sidelines of an event at the Guyana Defense Forces headquarters in Georgetown on Friday, Prime Minister Mark Phillips said the GDF has been monitoring developments along Guyana's border it shares with Venezuela.
You would agree that at a time like this, the GDF would have been monitoring all movements on our frontiers. That itself may require them to maybe adjust whatever troops that they have at different locations and so. So I don't have the details, right? The bottom line is we expect the GDF to continue to be vigilant on our frontiers.
According to the Prime Minister, a former Army chief, this is especially important given the posture of the Guyana government in using diplomacy as its defense.
As you know, diplomacy is our first line of defense. It means that the GDF must be able to quickly report to the government any unusual occurrence or occurrences on our frontiers, and the government will then take it further and make the necessary reports or raise the concerns with friendly nations and with international organizations and regional organizations that Guyana is a part of.
Meanwhile, GDF Chief of Staff Brigadier Omar Khan has declared the Army's commitment to safeguarding and defending all 83,000 square miles of the country.
I want to assure you we will continue to do so, just that, defending all 83,000 square miles of our beloved country. And for those who are listening to me, in particular, beyond our borders, the sun is not born. For anything else, it rotates or revolves depending on context. And surely it belongs to all of us to have a life and a peaceful one.
Similar sentiments were shared by Commissioner of Police Clifton Hicken earlier this week at a press conference where it was revealed that the Guyana Police Force has heightened its presence at border locations across the country.
We have police regions within the boundaries and borders of Guyana. And as we speak, the police and members of the joint services, they are working very hard. And we've built our capacity in the border regions. And so we're bringing some comfort to the regions out there. But as long as we have our establishment, Region 2 belongs to Guyana. And Guyana's boundary will not be altered in any way. And our final decision is at the ICJ, and the police members, commanders and members of the joint services will remain resolute in that regard. Guyana belongs to us, and we are going to police Guyana as far as practicable.
Reporting for the Evening News, Vanu Manikchand.
A female police officer is now dead and another has been injured after a drunken driver breached a stoplight and plowed his speeding jeep into them while they were manning a roadblock outside of the police station at Betroverwachting, East Coast, Demerara. Dead is woman constable Annette Abel, a 53-year-old resident of Perth Village, Maikoni, East Coast, Demerara. Injured is woman inspector Shanae Castello, the inspector in charge of the BV police station. Assisted by Constable Abel and other cops, Inspector Castello was commanding a roadblock outside of the police station. Constable Abel had stopped motorcars PAB 9932 and PNN 8124, and both vehicles had pulled left and were stationary on the roadway when the motor jeep, which was proceeding in the same direction and lane at a fast rate of speed, approached the traffic light situated at the junction of Republic Drive, Betroverwachting, and the East Coast Highway. At the time, the traffic light was in working order and the signal was showing red in his direction, but the driver drove through the red light signal and collided with the traffic cones which were at the center of the road as part of the roadblock operation. The driver then lost control of his vehicle and it slammed woman constable Abel into motorcar PAB 9932, which then collided with motorcar PNN 8124. Motorcar PNN 8124 then spun and collided with woman inspector Castello and one of the drivers, Chris Allen, flinging them both into the air, while woman constable Abel landed about 20 feet away on the road surface with her left foot severed below the knee. Woman inspector Castello and Chris Allen landed on the southern grass parapet. Meanwhile, the motor jeep PVV 8278, which was being driven by a 44-year-old resident of East Rheinfeldt, Georgetown, turned turtle on the southern grass parapet. At the time, the vehicle had two other occupants. The driver and the passengers also received injuries about their bodies. The EMT was summoned and woman constable Abel was pronounced dead at the scene, while other injured persons were taken to seek medical treatment. The Evening News has been informed that the driver of the motor jeep was found to be intoxicated at the time of the crash, which occurred at around 22 hours. Meanwhile, a 63-year-old man was last evening killed by a truck that was reversing along a farm access road at MADEWINI, East Bank, Demerara. Dead is Arnold DeSantos of Lot 22 Farm Track, MADEWINI. At the time of the accident, at around 18 hours, the truck GAD 7213 was being driven by a 27-year-old resident, also of Farm Track, MADEWINI. According to the police, the lorry was reversing along the track when it collided with the man who was walking along the pathway. As a result of the collision, the rear right side wheel of the lorry rolled over the pedestrian, causing him to receive injuries to his head and about his body. DeSantos was then picked up in an unconscious condition and escorted to the Diamond Diagnostic Center, where he was pronounced dead on arrival. The lorry driver was arrested and is in custody, assisting with the investigation. We now tell you that serious crime in Region 5 has been reduced by 31% when compared with the corresponding period last year. This is according to Police Commander Assistant Commissioner Curly Simon, who further noted that for the year so far, there has been no murder in his division. Andrew Carmichael reports.
With 0 murders and only 1 case of robbery under arms recorded so far this year, Region 5 is showing a 31.3% reduction in serious crime for 2023. This time last year, the region had recorded a total of 32 instances of serious crimes, inclusive of 1 murder. However, the figure for this year stands at 22. Regional Commander Assistant Commissioner Curly Simon made the announcement as he launched the Christmas policing program for the region on Thursday. He said the intention is to ensure that the citizens have a peaceful, crime-free and festive season, while at the same time providing a safe environment for persons to shop and spend money and also make money.
We expect that this will provide some amount of risk both for the police and members of the public due to mass gatherings in commercial and entertainment areas, increased presence of people on the roadways, possibilities that, as we saw with the crime figures, we were getting into larceny and burglary. Those predators out there will want to capitalize on the opportunities, so for the credit. And duopolies demand for beef, resulting in increasing cattle rustling. It's a known fact that Region 5 is known for cattle rustling.
Meanwhile, the commander called on persons to be on the lookout for counterfeit currency. He said those operating businesses and those who would promote social events are the ones who are likely to be targeted.
How do we intend to police the area or the region for the Christmas period? We'll have increased patrols, we'll put out more resources out there to our presence. We'll network with all the agencies. We'll have a system of booths and beats throughout the region, particularly in those commercial areas. Make a list of what you want to shop, where you're going and shop, and you definitely will have an idea what the price ranges are. So when you go to the counter, you have an idea how much money you take out from your purse. Because crime is not limited to any one area. I particularly warn the ranks that might go in, because what we saw is last year before last, we had a robbery at the rice mill just over the Michael Bridge. And that robbery wasn't done by any person from within the district. It was from Georgetown. And if Georgetown is tight and East Coast is tight, criminal elements are going to look for opportunities elsewhere. And if we are slack, which I don't intend to be, but if you lapse, we might just present the opportunity.
Meanwhile, as it relates to traffic, the Assistant Commissioner said so far for this year there have been 11 deaths on the region's roads compared with 6 for the corresponding period last year. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Meanwhile, though there has been a general decrease in serious crimes in Region 6, the subcategory of murder has recorded an increase. Here is Andrew Carmichael again with the police statistics for that region.
In Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, murders for the year currently stand at 17 compared with 14 for the corresponding period last year and also 14 for the corresponding period in 2021. Robberies stand at 29 compared with 44 for the corresponding period last year and 48 for the same period in 2021. As it relates to robberies, 90% of them are perpetrated with the aid of firearms and 30% with the aid of cutlasses. Overall in the region, there is a 2% reduction in serious crimes when the figures are compared with those for the corresponding period last year.
What valuables are being taken during these? We have currency with cellular phones. We understand there's a market for cellular phones going on at the moment, not only in this region but also in this region. And gold jewelry. These jewelries, of course, can be altered by way of goldsmith. And how it's been done? Well, 50% of our analysis shows that it's been done on foot, while 38 bicycle and motorcycles.
Commander Shiv Prasad Baka says only the Rose Hall double murder is unsolved, but affirmed that it is still an active investigation. Meanwhile, as policing intensifies in the region amidst the Christmas season, Bacchus, in outlining the region's Christmas policing plans, pointed out that all 11 stations and 3 outposts will be fully engaged. Moreover, he said, all known characters will be closely monitored.
We are also implementing the drone system, and I want to acknowledge here that while we as law enforcement officers have the authority in operating drone, those others are not, unless you have the permit to do so. Stop and search exercises, you will find it more on our roadways. We're hoping to have more illuminated areas and equipment to avoid any eventualities such as incidents or accidents while on the roadblock or stop and search exercises.
However, the commander noted that in carrying out these exercises, there are certain risk factors involved which the department is cognizant of. The Christmas season will bring with it increased opportunistic crime and other violations, an increase in traffic accidents, increased alcohol consumption and drug use, and the smuggling of contraband into the region. He pointed out that there is also the likelihood of an increase in cattle rustling.
We know during this time cattle rustling because of the pepper pot issue, the beef are on demand, and in the background where the animals are. So we have the boats and those alleys. While on the far out here, we have the traffic, foot and motorcycle. They will do that. So we have our anti-crime patrol led by the detective and the sub-division officers.
Meanwhile, as it relates to traffic, 19 persons have died on the roads in the region this year. This was the same figure at this time last year. This year, 11 motorcyclists have died on the region's roads compared with 6 for the corresponding period last year. The region has reported a total of 171 accidents compared with 199 for the corresponding period last year. Andrew Carmichael, The Evening News.
Coming up, GDF to establish Veterans Department to deal with daily affairs, says Army Chief, and $50 million in cash prizes, head said deals as Digicel launches 2023 Christmas promotion. Do stay with us. More news ahead.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel.
Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Hold on to your Santa hats because there's up to $50 million in cash to be won. Activate any data plan and you can be one of 14 winners to join Digicel's Spin to Win game show where you can win millions in cash. Activate a data plan today on the best network and make this Christmas the best one yet.
Guyanese women from across the country are being empowered to take advantage of the many opportunities presented by the oil and gas industry. Entrepreneurial, leadership, procurement, and management are some of the training programs that women continue to have access to through the Center for Local Business Development and workshops hosted by companies in the industry. As oil production increases, so will these opportunities for Guyanese women.
Heavy-duty equipment owners and mechanics transfer and dispense grease easily, quickly and precisely from 110 to 132-pound drums with a roughneck air-operated mobile grease pump kit from Sylvies. This durable product saves maintenance time, is designed to be portable, and keeps impurities out of your grease drum. Shop now at sylviesonline.com or visit our 31 High and Hatfield Street store. We also deliver. Call or WhatsApp 623-7755 for more info.
Transitions Light Intelligent Lenses. Pick your color. Choose your style. Available at Optique Vision Care.
Welcome back. You're watching the Evening News. With the aim of enhancing its support to veterans, the Guyana Defense Force will be establishing a Veterans Affairs Department that will handle the routine and daily issues affecting these former military personnel. Details in this Vanu Manikchand report.
These commitments were made by Chief of Staff of the Guyana Defense Force, Brigadier Omar Khan, on Friday morning at the Veterans Day wreath-laying ceremony held at Base Camp Ayangana. The Chief of Staff outlined a series of actions that will be undertaken by the GDF to further support of the country's veterans.
I will ensure we can effect some much more needed repairs to the Guyana Veterans Legion in 2024. Additionally, we will also provide a resuscitated and well-staffed Veteran Affairs Department to adequately address the routine and daily administration. Thirdly, I've already directed that the monthly health checks for the veterans must be restarted as we provide much needed care and intervention for those in need. As a force, we remain committed to providing our traditional forms of assistance and support to you, our veterans. In particular, the Guyana Veterans Rest Home and the Guyana Veterans Legion.
The GDF also pledged $1 million to the Veterans Legion and announced the erection of a special memorial to honor those who lost their lives on duty. Prior to Brigadier Khan's commitments, President of the Guyana Veterans Legion, Colonel George Gomes, called for the legal recognition of the entity.
There is no mention of veteran relations in the Defense Act, and it is our desire to have this omission rectified. I am making a request for some type of legality to be given to our veterans organization. As the only veterans organization for the military in Guyana, I am asking that maybe the Defense Act, Chapter 1501, could be amended to include the Guyana Veterans Legion, officially linking us to the GDF. As it is now, we are like a stepchild.
Meanwhile, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, a former military personnel himself, assured the veterans of the Guyana government's continued support.
We will formalize everything. We will go through the Defense Board, we will go to Parliament, and we can write all the acts and debate and vote on it, because that's the proper thing to do, the democratic process. But in the meantime, we have achieved what many of those countries with all these fancy architecture has not achieved. We've broken down the bureaucracy, and any issue pertaining to veterans and veterans' welfare will be dealt with by my government. In the Defense Act, there's a section called Pensions and Gratuities Regulation. And we're committed to interpreting and upgrading those regulations so that we can do more for veterans.
Reporting for the Evening News, Fanu Manikchand.
Efforts are being made to ensure that small entrepreneurs in Berbice take full advantage of available business opportunities, especially in oil and gas and their supporting industries. To this end, the Center for Local Business Development recently held a 4-day outreach in the 2 Berbice regions to sensitize the population on such opportunities. Andrew Carmichael has that story.
The outreaches commenced on Monday and ended on Thursday. Those who were invited to participate are businesses and individuals who would want to learn more about businesses and job opportunities in the public and private sector. Those outreaches were being done in collaboration with the Berbice Chamber of Commerce, the Institute of Private Enterprise Development, and local communities. It was also being hosted by the Center for Local Business Development. Director of the Center of Local Business Development, Natasha Gaskin-Peters, said the purpose of those outreaches was to educate communities located in Berbice on projects and opportunities in the public and private sector, including oil and gas, construction, health, etc., and how they can prepare and access these opportunities.
For many of the folks here, they're looking to see how it is that they could compete and win contracts in their area, outside of their area. So whether those are public contracts that they're looking to seek or contracts within the oil and gas sector as well as other sectors, we are here to speak on those opportunities that presently exist here in Guyana.
Sessions were held in New Amsterdam, Port Morant and Corriverton in Region 6, East Berbice Quarantine, and at Fort Wellington, West Coast Berbice Region 5, Mahaika Berbice. Gaskin-Peters pointed out that many are hearing of the economic growth currently taking place. However, not many know how they can be part of the progress.
A lot of that comes in the form of job opportunities. It comes in the form of opportunities within the business arena. And so this is why we're here. We're going to be speaking to them on, certain processes. So what it takes as it relates to health and safety, for example, bringing that awareness to them. Also the procurement process. So if it is that you're looking to procure goods and services, whether it's in the government sector or whether it's in the oil and gas sector, how can you benefit from those opportunities?
Meanwhile, she explained that with the oil and gas coming on stream, other areas like logistics and services will expand. A similar outreach was done in Region 10, Upper Demerara, Upper Berbice, and there are plans to visit all 10 administrative regions of the country.
So we're looking at other areas. Again, it's also scoping out the projects within the country to see, where we expect to see the largest development taking place. As you are aware, we're going to have the training school being built here within the Region 6 area, which is going to be a massive development. We have war facilities taking place. So it's ensuring that as those developments come to the various regions, and this is widespread, that persons are aware of this. So we will be visiting other regions throughout Guyana. We're looking to touch every region within the country into next year with these outreaches.
For the evening news, Andrew Carmichael.
Prime Minister Mark Phillips, in his capacity as acting president, has expressed his firm belief that the return of GuyExpo after a 7-year hiatus demonstrates Guyana's incredible economic transformation, as well as its bright future, and this is due to government's strategic diversification of the economy. Rupasina Ryan tells us more.
Over 200 enterprises, both small and large, have converged at the Sophia Exhibition Center as GuyExpo returned with a bang. Addressing the opening ceremony of GuyExpo at the Sophia Exhibition Complex in Georgetown on Thursday evening, the acting president, Prime Minister Mark Phillips, said the exhibition is also a celebration of the transformative changes that are sweeping the country and reshaping Guyana's economy, which is transforming into greater services. This, he highlighted, is a sure sign of an economy that is maturing and modernizing.
You will all have the opportunity to visit the various booths and exhibits. You will see the evidence of an economy that has undergone a metamorphosis. Guyana's economic trajectory isn't just marked by rapid growth, it is characterized by a transformation. A paradigm shift is occurring within our economic structure, evident in the emergence of sectors that were not traditionally the mainstays of our economy.
Phillips said the event mirrors the changing features of the country's economic landscape and serves as a reflection of the forward-thinking spirit which is propelling Guyana into an exciting future. He further explained that the robustness of the country's financial sector, heightened investments in tourism and hospitality, and the growth of transportation, construction, and logistics are reshaping the country's future. Additionally, information and communication technology, ICT, is being expanded as the government has identified the sector as a new growth pole in the economy.
GuyExpo is not just a reflection of where we are, but a glimpse into where we are headed. Our economic trajectory is not merely about growth, but also it is about qualitative transformation. We are diversifying our economy as part of a modernizing impulse that propels us into a future of shared prosperity.
The expo will run until Sunday, where patrons will get to sample what Guyana has to offer. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
Digicel Guyana have kickstarted the holiday festivities with their DEPT Christmas promotion, wherein Guyanese will be able to capitalize on sweeping deals and cash prizes throughout the season. Here is Rupasina Ryan again with this story.
Digicel's communications manager Gabriella Chapman announced their Spin to Win promotion during the launch on Thursday. Up to $50 million is up for grabs. Across 3 qualifying periods, a total of 14 persons will get a chance to spin the wheel. Activating any data plan qualifies customers with entries depending on the number of days the plan is valid. For instance, a 1-day plan is 1 entry.
1-day plan gives you 1 entry. 3-day plan gives you 3 entries. 7-day plan gives you 7 entries. 30-day plan gives you how many?
30 entries.
30 entries.
Nice.
And how we're going to be selecting these 14 winners? Because I believe after tomorrow, everybody will be activating data plans.
Yes.
So we have to select 14 people from those.
The highest sum a person can win by spinning the wheel is $3.6 million. Another aspect of the promotion will focus on amazing deals on smartphones. Select Samsung Galaxy headsets will be 50% off with free 50 gigabytes of data with every purchase.
Some of the handsets that they will get a 50% off from is the Samsung A04E. That was $28,000. They're going to pay $14,000 for it from tomorrow up until January 4th.
All right.
Then we have the A14. That was $58,000. They're only going to pay $29,000.
That's a great reduction, 50%.
Yes. And the Samsung A24, that was $70,000. They're going to pay $35,000 for that handset between that period. And they're also going to get the 50 gigabytes of data.
I like this.
The promotion ends on January 4th, 2024. Rupa Sinarain, The Evening News.
And now for a look at the bridge reports.
The Demerara Harbour Bridge will be closed to vehicular traffic on Saturday, November 18, 2023 at 4 hours for a period of 1.5 hours. Meanwhile, the Berbice River Bridge is expected to be closed at 7 hours 25 on Saturday, November 18, 2023, also for a period of 1.5 hours.
Golden Jags names 22-man squad for final Nations League games, and athletics team starts IGG campaign with 14 medals. Details of these stories in the Sportcast, sponsored by MacCorp, coming up on the other side of the break.
Giving you the best Christmas with Digicel. This Christmas, it's all about the best. Digicel is bringing you the best deals, the best prices, and the best cash prizes. Get half off and a whopping 50 gigs of data when you purchase the Samsung A04 for just $14,000, the Samsung A14 for just $29,000, or the Samsung A24 for just $35,000. That's right, half off and 50 gigs of data. It doesn't get any better than this. So why wait? This Christmas, buy nothing but the best. Offer good while stocks last. Digicel.
John Lewis Styles is proud to introduce for the very first time their own brand of women's clothing. A line of hand-picked styles and designs of modern and contemporary women's clothing. Fashionable enough for the young. Styles that are timeless and quality that you're accustomed to. Choose from t-shirts, tops, pants, jackets, shorts, dresses, and even hoodies. So come see our new women's line on Waterloo Street on the 2nd floor. John Lewis Styles. Simply different.
Superbet, your best bet. With many agents countrywide, our products are easily accessible. Visit an agent nearest to you to play your favorite games. Must be 18 years and older. Terms and conditions apply. Play responsibly.